Okay, Jade Time. I do have a few people that are collectors that like the jade, so I'm going to show you a few pieces. Now, this one I've showed before. It's a newer piece. I don't think I like the pearls. I may take those off. They can just be snipped off. My little wire snips and can take those off. Now, the reason I bought this because I have been looking for a real nice moss in snow, and that's what this is called. The really white with the green in it is called a moss in snow. So that is something I had been looking for. Not sure I like the pearls, but those I can very easily take off. Just snip them here and snip it there, and they're gone, and then I will just have my piece like that, which I'm really considering doing. Now, another little moss and snow piece I got was this one. Okay, kind of a longer type version. Moss and snow. Here's my nice green that I got got myself for my birthday. Yeah, and this one is a translucent gray. It does have a bit of green in it here. Okay, floating flower. But these are natural. I got this from Turk over in California that cuts all his own things, so I know this is not dyed. This is a genuine apple moss and snow apple piece. Now, I'll show you the other two pieces I recently got that I have been looking for quite some time. I've been wanting to get. Let me take this one off my lavender. It's my lavender jade. And I do have one more piece coming that's a black translucent. It's got some translucency in it. That's one thing I didn't have was the black jade. So I did find one that I like that's coming from Paris. So it's on its way, and then I'm done buying jade now for some time. Okay, but I'll show you the one that I have been wanting. This just showed up now. Here's the one piece. This is the cylinder type. This is a little bit kind of like almost a bit of a green tinge to it. That is carved. It's got bit carving there. I have been looking for, and I found this for a very good deal on eBay. If you know what you're looking for, you can run across some nice deals. So I got this piece, and here is the one I have been looking for and looking for and looking for. A real mutton fat jade. Now, a lot of them they have out now that are saying they're mutton fat. They're not actually mutton fat. They're coming from, I think it's Afghanistan. Like the one piece I have that's a big bangle, and they say mutton fat. It's a white color, but it's not like a real, I don't consider it a real mutton fat. Now, this is, when I saw this, I said, yeah. And I bid on it, and I got it. Here it is. The mutton fat is like this. It's that grease kind of looking. It looks like fat off of a, when you're having lamb or something and you see the unrendered fat, that's what it looks like. That is genuine mutton fat jade. and I had been looking for one. You know, I see a lot of them out there saying they're mutton fat, but I don't see them as old mutton fat. Another thing I noticed with this was that the carving is, the carving in some areas is not done by machine, because some of the little carving angles are a bit different. So this was more of a hand-carved piece. So those are things you want to look for. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be. When I came, I was like, oh my God, this is pretty large. So I'll show you what it looks like on. But yes, this is genuine mutton fat jade. And I got it for a very good price. I bid on it, and yeah, so there you have it. This might be my new favorite piece, because like I said, the mutton fat, a lot of people don't know mutton fat, and it's the nephrite. It's not a jadeite. The rest of these are jadeite. These are all jadeite pieces, okay? These are jadeite. These translucent, this type things, these are all jadeite, okay? They are a bit harder. They're not as soft as nephrite, but the mutton fat is what they used to have in old China. Jadeite is relatively new, but in old China, when they had the emperors and empresses and stuff that had jade, this is what they had. They had the mutton fat, okay? So there you have it. There's my mutton fat. So I'm really happy with what I have now. I've gotten everything I wanted to collect, all of my moss and snow. And I have to say, this one piece that I had that I got that's very, very old. I got this in an antique store. It's got green on the inside, and it is, the more you wear it, the more that green starts to kind of come out. So it is starting, I don't know if you could see, it's kind of hard to see here, but it is starting to get more green on it, on the outside. Now, I always thought that's an old wives' tale, that they will turn green, but I have heard of that. Somebody that had a high fever, that they had jade that did turn greener. So kind of interesting. I'm still trying to find out more about it, but it's really hard to find out things about that. Okay, another thing I'll put through on this, the bail is very small, the hole, and this one, they weren't fitting. They're round and they wouldn't fit. Now, I can tell you, you can get a little pair of pliers and you can make it oval rather than round. When it's round, they may not fit, but if you kind of squeeze it a little bit, you have to be careful. You don't want to clamp it like this, because then you'll close it off. But if you squeeze it lightly, you can turn it from round to oval, make it a little longer, okay? And then the same thing, this was a little too round, squeezed it a little bit, made it oval, and then they fit. Then I could wear them together, okay? So that's another little hint, things if you have a necklace and it's just not, they're not fitting, it's too big round. If you squeeze it a little, make it oval instead of round, then sometimes you can get it to fit, where you can actually wear a piece. So there you have it. But yeah, I do love my mutton fat jade. Now, when it came, yeah, it's cool now. When I got it, it was in my mailbox, which is, you know, I have a metal mailbox, so it was really hot in there. So when I took it out, it was a bit warm. Real jade is going to be heavy for the size of it. The weight of it's going to be heavier. And then also it will be cool to the touch. Okay, it'll be cool to the touch. So those are things you want to look for. If you have one that's translucent, like these are really translucent, a little hard to see on here, but if you're here, you can really see through it. This is icy, called ice jade. This is also very translucent. When you see people and you're looking up at the light at it, what you're looking at is, number one, to see if it has any cracks, or if it's jade, versus if it's plastic, you know, and if it's not going to be cool to the touch, it's not going to be heavy. If it's a lot of fillers in it, polymer fillers, again, it's going to be lighter. If it's glass, so they've had people try to pass off glass as a really expensive translucent. It'll have bubbles in it. Any jade like these, you will see it's got crystalline. It looks like ice crystals inside of it. Real jade will have ice crystals looking like it inside of it. Now, and they do put a lot of things up that they're calling jade, like Australian jade. It's not jade, okay? I think it's, is it chalcedony that the Australian one is? They used to try to pass it off as jade. Now, they call a lot of things jade that are not jade, like agate jade. Well, agate is not jade, okay? Agate is not jade. Agate will have banding in it, banding type of colors, and they will try to pass off some agate things as jade. So those are things to kind of look for if you are a jade enthusiast, okay? Get it from somebody that's reputable. Like I said, I know if you're interested, look up Chirk Works shop. He's in Orange, California. Now, he's very reputable. And all his stuff he buys rough, and he makes all the bangles himself, okay? So those I know are good. The other ones I have, like this piece, this is one of my favorite pieces. It does have some beautiful colors of green in here. It's got some apple green in here and things. I bought this from a street vendor in LA like over 25 years ago. And so I got very, very good deals on them. Some might hear one of my 3-colored jades. Also very nice. It's got some of the, you know, nice translucency to it. The saddle color here. So I know that all of the jades that I have are authentic, because a lot of them, like this, my very favorite one I have is this one, which of course I dropped and cracked, so now I have to have a thing on it. But very, very translucent. I bought this in Chinatown in San Francisco. Maybe it was in the 80s. I bought it in the 80s. And this was hidden away. They have a whole case full of jade bangles. And they had this very translucent one in with all this stuff. And I spotted it and grabbed it right away. So that's before they started doing the acid baths and things. So you can get some in there that are very like ice jade, that they've done this translucency on them, acid baths, but they're very, very brittle. They will break easily. I wouldn't wear it with another jade. They look nice, but they're brittle and will break easily. Now mine, it didn't break the whole way. It cracked because I dropped it on a tile floor. Yeah. kind of like it's made out of a cement or something, tile floor. So yeah, it cracked. I was taking it off here and it fell. So today I got a little rug thing that I can put here in case I drop one when I'm taking it off again. So I won't have that happen. I was sick when that happened, but I did wrap it in the leather, which I kind of like this leather wrap versus putting a silver or gold wrap on it. So I think I might just leave it with the leather on it instead of doing a gold wrap. So if you see one and it's got gold around it, that means it cracked. They dropped it and they cracked it, so they put that gold around there, not to keep it from cracking anymore, but just to hide it. It's not going to break. It's not going to break. Jade is very, very strong. So I have no trouble wearing all my jade together. They can knock and bang and make sound, and they're not going to crack. They're very, very, very strong. You sit here and do this all day, and it won't do a thing to them. But if you drop it on a cement, oh yeah, then it's going to break. We had that one woman. Did you see that video? She was trying on a jade bangle and dropped it and broke it. I mean, broke it in half. $40,000 bangle, and the woman fainted. She fainted. I mean, literally fainted when they told her, "You owe us $40,000. I go, well, they worked out a deal. I guess she wound up having to pay $20,000. But what they could do with that bangle, and I'm sure they did, is to put the end caps on it, you know, to put the two pieces where it's hinged and you can open it up. Yeah, that's what they'll do. They're not going to lose on that. They'll still be able to sell it because it was a clean break right in half, okay? So the way that it broke, they'd be able to you know, do the, make it a hinged bangle and be able to sell it without a problem. So, yeah. But yeah, they've got that. I'll see if I can find that video and I'll put the link in the description. She faints when they tell her that's $40,000 that you just broke. I would faint too if I dropped a $40,000 bangle and broke it. Oh my goodness. So anyway, really, really happy that I got this. You'll probably see me wearing this piece a lot now for a while because it's something that I have really looked forward to finding, and I had spent a lot of time to look for it and actually find a good piece of mutton fat jade versus these newer pieces, which they're calling mutton fat, but they're not the genuine mutton fat. So yeah, happy to share that with you. What is genuine mutton fat? Okay, so thanks for tuning in. Let me know, what do you think of it? I love it. Yeah, I really do love it. And I think I am going to take the pearls off of this. The pearls just take away from the piece, you know. I don't know why they would put pearls on this piece, but this is, like I said, an easy fix. This wire is very easy to bend up. It's, and just snip it here, snip it there, and take it off of this piece. That's an easy thing to do. So I'm really considering taking that, taking the pearls off of it, because they're not hinged on here. It's just done on a wire. Okay, so they can be taken off. Let me know what you think. Pearls on, pearls off. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you online. And as soon as that other one comes, the black one, I'll show it to you. So interested. It's from the same place I got this one, which I also came from Paris. I did like this. I like the orange, the little orange things, and it does have a bit of the green. It's got more of the orange on the inside. You know, sometimes it's like that when they make the bangles. You get more of the color, unfortunately, on the inside than you do on the outside. Yeah, that's what's going on with this older piece that I've got here. I'll take it off and you can see. It's a little large, but you can see inside the heavier green. It's got really heavy green more on the inside than it does the outside. But the more that you wear it, that green will come through. Now, how that happens, I don't know. But it is definitely starting to come through more than when I had bought this, a number of years ago, okay? So we'll see how that proceeds, how that green, if it's going to continue to come through or not. In order for it to do that, I have to actually wear it. It's a bit large for me. You know, if I wear it here, it's going to go down. But a lot of people wear their bangles down that far. Okay. But it's, for me, a bit large. That's why I have a tendency to put another bangle on with it to hold it so it doesn't go down. Because I don't like when they go way down on my wrist. Okay. So anyway, that's my birthday present. You know, my birthday thing, what I got this year for my birthday stuff is my jades, okay? Because people know I am an avid collector of jade and have been since the early 70s when I lived up in Chinatown in San Francisco, and I would see the older Chinese women wearing the moss and snow. You know, they would wear the moss and snow bangles, and you would see a few with the mutton fat, okay? And I actually would see there was an older woman there. She must have been in her late 80s, early 90s that still had bound feet. Yeah, I've actually seen somebody that had, they called the lotus foot, where they break their bones. Yeah, they would. I can't think of something more horrendous to be a child and have your feet broken and they make you stand up and walk on them. Can you imagine the torture? Oh my God. And how they can think that's beautiful, I don't get it, because I don't even want to think of the smell. Can you imagine? Your feet broken, that they're bound in these things, the sweating and the I don't it's like, incredulous. But anyway, yeah, there was actually an older woman that would, she'd wear the blue kind of mouth jacket and would wear this kind of a blue wrap thing on her head. And she had the bound feet. Her feet were about like that. Yeah. And she had to have somebody there helping her. Can you imagine trying to walk in San Francisco in those hills with bound feet? Anyway, it was really interesting to see that, but I can't imagine what it's like. Now, unfortunately, Chinatown in San Francisco has changed a lot, okay? Now, instead of having the old Chinese families that own most of these stores, a lot of it's owned by Vietnamese and Korean and different other Oriental families. Not to take anything away from Vietnamese or Korean or anything, but, when you're used to Chinatown being Chinatown, when it goes through those changes, it's just not the same. And then, people that were there, characters that were there are no longer there, like Edsel. Edsel was a trip. They pass away and things just go through changes. You still have the Chinese associations, family associations. I don't know if they're still having a lot of the gang wars, but they were having, gang wars and stuff in the 70s. I wasn't worried about it because not being Chinese, they didn't bother me, but they were having that shootout. They had those deaths in, was it the Grand Dragon restaurant, the Golden Dragon? I think it was called the Golden Dragon, where they had a big, shooting there. And then they have the theater. I used to go once in a while to watch the Kung Fu movies that's haunted. The haunted theater there. I think it's called the Great Star Theater, if I remember right, Great Star Theater. But yeah, it was an interesting time living there. Now, when I lived there, I lived in the I Hotel. There were a lot of older Chinese and Filipino people that lived there, and we had a communal kitchen. You just have a room. You'd have shared bathrooms. You didn't have bathrooms in your room. So you'd have the communal kitchen, and you'd have the shared bathrooms. And I lived there for a time, and then they kicked everybody out, and they were going to build this big thing. They never did, okay? They just tore it down and disenfranchised a lot of these elderly people from the I Hotel. Difficult. When I lived there, I had a couple. I lived there at the I Hotel, and then I lived at the other one up off on North Beach. There's another, can't remember the name of it. But yeah, a lot of people lived in the hotel things because the apartments are too expensive. Now, when I lived there, there was a guy that lived there as well that I would talk to once in a while. He was really interesting. He was a Catholic guy. He would go to the little Chinese Catholic church there, and he was very much like a monk. He was really into the Franciscan things. And so sometimes I would talk to him. We'd talk about the Franciscan monks and things, and would have apple pie and tea. Apple pie and tea. There's a great restaurant. I think it was it on Waverly or Washington? Maybe it's on Washington. Really old restaurant where you go in and they have separate booths where you can, closed off booths. It's not like a booth where you sit there and it's just a thing. It's closed off rooms. Very, very old restaurant. They made the best apple pie. Oh my goodness. Next time I go up by that way, I'll have to see if they're still open and they still make that apple pie, because it was fabulous. We get together and talk about religious things, about, and have this apple pie and tea. Yeah. And then you'd go down, there was, you'd go to different restaurants for different things. Like there was one that you would go to that was next to the Great Star, the haunted theater, where you go for juk, like that rice kind of a soup. They boil the rice with the chicken stock for a long time, and you'd have juk. If you'd have an upset stomach, you would have juk. Or you'd see ones going in there like early morning, like 3 a.m. or something. People, I guess, that had been out drinking or something, they would go for a juk. You'd go for your juk. So the best juk was down there. And then I had one that I would go to that Edsel had, but it's closed now. It was Samwo. It was great. It's closed now, unfortunately. So there are different places that you would know and you would go to, when you knew the area. They also used to have a really great jade shop up on the, was it Sacramento? But it closed down, unfortunately. But they did have one jade store up there which really carried high-end jade. Unfortunately, it's not there any longer. But anyway, sometimes you just, once in a while something happens and you kind of have a flashback, a remembrance of something there. And, yeah. I also knew somebody who was a bit unsavory, had a lot of money, underneath everything. Didn't make a show of all the wealth that they had. And they ran a business. I don't know what they were involved in. I don't want to know what they were involved in. Okay? But something, let's just put it, I'd rather have him be my friend than an enemy. I'll leave it there. Oh my goodness. I've met a lot of characters in my life. When I lived in Hawaii, I met an ex-policeman that was running guns. How can you do that? How could you be a policeman and then do some underhanded activity? I don't get it. But like I said, I have met all kinds of people in my lifetime experience. Just craziness. I've met really upstanding, ethical, wonderful people, and then I've met people kind of in the shadows that were doing shadow things, and you're watching and you're going, why would you do that? I've never understood why people would do shadow things, like they're beyond the system and they're not going to get caught. Easy, quick money. I guess they think they're going to make quick money. But shadow things are going to come back to bite you at some time some place, sometime, it's going to come back and bite you. So why in the world do people get into it? I don't understand, okay? I don't get it at all, because here it makes absolutely no sense. You lose your integrity, your morality. You always have to be looking over your shoulder, okay? If you're in dark elements, 9 out of 10, you're going to get taken out by some dark element along the way. So why to get involved in that? I don't know. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to leave this here and enjoy my mutton fat jade. Yep. Yep. And I'll see you online. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.